Alright, so welcome back to Belly Dancing Basics. It's been quite a bit. So, see, I'm already stretched out. I've already done a little bit of my warm-ups, and I'm just going to kind of jump into a new move rather than covering some of the older, more basic ones. I'm going to try to teach you how to do horizontal figure eights on your chest and on your hips. So, and this is a bit hard because, of course, I chose to dance in a sweater dress today. So, what you're going to do, this is a process that you're going to already need to have mastered to a degree. Your horizontal figure eights, your horizontal circles, and your lifts and drops. If you don't know how to do those, you can check previous videos that I've made that will teach you how to do them. So, now that we kind of have it so that my belly can be shown, and you can kind of see my hips. So this is essentially kind of two processes in one. So you're going to stand in your dancer pose, legs apart, a little bit bent. And when you're standing like this, make sure you're kind of relaxed. You're not like tightened, like tight. You're going to be relaxed. Not like pushed out, just relaxed. It's important so that you don't pull something. And so what this is essentially you're going to be bringing your hip around, without pumping your knees. Your legs are not going all crazy. Like, obviously they're going to be moving. It's a skeletal movement, but you shouldn't be feeling any push from your feet or push from your legs. If you're like, let me push with my leg to make sure my hip gets dropped more, you're not really doing the move properly and you're not really working out your obliques the way that you need to. It's all oblique, which is the sides of your stomach, glute, and that's pretty much it. You'll feel it a little bit in your quads, but the movement doesn't come from there. So you, essentially what you're going to do is make a circle with your hip. This is how you practice. Circle with one hip. I have my leg up, but as you can see, I can do the movement even without it. My leg just happens to be down because that gives me more grounding. But not pushing up with my leg, just pushing up with my hip. And that's how you kind of practice doing these. You do like a hip circle on this side, and make sure that you do your hip circles on the other side. The actual movement kind of is like that, but it's not just two circles. There's a twist involved too. So twist and circle at the same time. It's essentially the movement. Like, you can just do twists. That's perfectly okay. You'll see a lot of belly dancers do, like, with the coin belts, quick twists or whatnot. But that's not a horizontal figure eight. So, as you're coming forward with your forward part of your circle, you'll twist your belly. Now, mind you, I'm doing this just so you can see a little bit more what is inevitably happening over here, but your rib cage should be still. Keep track of where your ribs are. Make sure, like, even though your belly's moving, you're not moving to go accommodate it, even though your body's going to want to. It's going to feel like, oh, there's less stress, but that's kind of not the purpose of the dance or of doing belly exercises in general. So, and then you, as one is coming forward, this one is also working on coming forward and twisting. So, in the end, there's a little bit of a sway to it. Kind of like you're drawing a figure eight on the ground using the center of your body. That's why it is called a horizontal figure eight. Where, like, mine a little bit, I'm giving you a little bit of leeway. Like, technically, my legs shouldn't be moving that much, right? But your first time doing this move, your legs are going to move a whole bunch, and that's okay. So you're going to go forward, and then you could do the same thing, but going backwards. Now, one will always be easier than the other. And this one kind of from the side, forward, backward. And backward will use a good deal more of your glutes. You're going to feel it more there. Let me show you from behind so that way you kind of get a feel for muscle movement. Forward and backward. And those would be horizontal figure eights. Now, what happens up on the bottom also happens on top, which this one will be more of a struggle if you haven't practiced in a while, or if you don't have a whole lot of ab definition around the solar plexus area, because that's pretty much where all of it is. It's like sides, solar plexus. I know that a lot of people are like, you know, if I'm a dude, I can't do it because I don't have tits, but like, all that is a visual marker. All the movement is still from the stomach muscles, and everyone has the same stomach muscles, unless you have some sort of surgery or something. So, I put my hands out to my side to isolate my shoulders. You can also put your hands on your hips. That's usually a little bit easier. This is just more TM proper, is like you put your hands out to the side to kind of frame your chest area, to be like, look at me, I'm doing a pretty move. Or you put them out here to be like, yes, 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 I'm doing something beautiful. And then you could do like, for those that aren't completely in my room, yes, yes, I'm doing something beautiful. Look at me, I'm making little pulley hands or just holding my hands kind of like a pretty little goddess. I am divine, look at me. And meanwhile, your chest is doing the same type of motion. So, forward, again, it's a circle. And you could even practice it from the side, just one little circle. Again, this isn't a shoulder roll. My shoulder doesn't have the movement coming from it. It's all oblique and solar plexus. And this is just one side, as you can see. And then you could do it on the other side. And you could kind of see there's a difference. Compare where I'm doing one side and then the other versus when I'm doing kind of both. And again, my shoulders, TM if you're doing it proper, would not be moving this much. But your first time doing it, your shoulders are going all over the place. Just try to keep it to a calm sort of movement, not like a type of movement. Try to make sure that it's as calm as possible. This is backwards, forwards. And you could kind of get a feel for it. So like, backwards, and you also feel this a bit in your shoulder blades. Your shoulder blades are actually playing a good deal of part of this. I'll have to film another video where I'm actually wearing a proper TM tank top so that you can actually see the shoulder blade movements. But backwards, and you don't have to do backwards movement. A lot of times it is accompanied by backwards movement, but it doesn't have to be. It's just kind of the way that it flows. And forward movement. And this will feel kind of like, if you are a possessor of titties, like you're shaking your titties, but that's actually more of a shoulder movement usually. But it will feel kind of like a similar motion, where it's forward. Your ribs are moving forward. And anything that's attached to your ribs is also moving forward. Backwards, forwards. And you'll feel it a little bit on your upper back too. That's the basics of it. I'll drill next time, but I just figured I'd film something quick to teach you the basics.